Hey everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious and Anonymous. Still alive, even after from yesterday's crazy 18-hour live stream. It is December 31st, 2017. I was about to say, what year is this? It is 2017 right now. In about an hour and a half or so, it's going to be midnight 2018. My guest today is already living in 2018. Millie, how's it going?
Good from the future. Hello.
What is happening in 2018? Has it gotten any better?
I just don't know that we can top 2017. I mean, you were like me watching Twin Peaks when it first aired and a fan for life, and whoever thought that we would get more. I just feel so blessed. Very lucky.
I feel it's been a wild year, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but I'm just so happy we got Twin Peaks. Um, and like I said yesterday, I just have been surrounded by wonderful, wonderful people in this community all year long. And yesterday was just a wild day. um, we're going to get into all of that as well. Me myself, I am still a little tired. My head is still pounding, mostly because I was staring at a computer screen and sitting down for 18 hours yesterday. So even just the mere sight of looking at my cell phone today just is like blinding me.
No.
But I thought it was important to do a little video tonight, and I'm hoping to do a video. Uh, throughout this week while the campaign is going on. We have about a week left of the Queen of Hearts campaign left on Indiegogo. As you can see right here, there's a little banner here. Somebody sent me a shorter URL, so hopefully this is a little easier for you to type in if you're using other devices besides a computer. But yeah, while we're on tonight, feel free to donate to the campaign. I think we're about 170 something dollars from hitting 11,000, which is great.
Amazing.
We are so close to hitting the 50% mark raised, and once you hit that 50%, it's makes people a little antsy, a little. Now they want to get to 100% because now we're much closer. So awesome. Also, I talked to Frank today. And Frank has added another perk to the campaign. So those of you who don't follow me on Facebook or Twitter, just go through YouTube. There is a new perk on there under the $50 range. And this is awesome. I mean, this is truly awesome, especially if you are a Twin Peaks collector and you want something super, super rare that not many people are going to have. So Frank, I guess a few years ago, made a CD, like a music CD, right? And he did a song with Kimmy Robertson.
I saw that on your Facebook today, and I was like, no way.
So he did a song with Kimmy Robertson on this CD. There's only a few copies available in existence, and he's putting them all up as a perk for the campaign. So if you want to own like a rare part of, Kimmy Robertson's, artistic, output, that's a pretty cool thing to have. I mean, I was just like, really? He's like, yeah,
That's amazing.
I got 6 of them.
She's a big Devo fan too, so it'd be interesting to see what her music style is like. She loves Devo. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's fantastic. It's great of him to do that. Definitely, I think will intrigue people. And obviously if people buy it, we'll be over the 11,000. So that's fantastic. The other thing is, I keep reminding people, I took a look at the numbers from yesterday's videos, because we did 3 of them, and we've hit over 4,000 views already just with those videos. Now, of course, if 150 of those people threw in $100, we'd already have been to the the end point, or the goal, I should say, for the campaign. So it really doesn't take that many people. to do this, and the thousands that watch these videos, we just need a few of you guys to throw in something, and even if just throw in what you can. I mean, there's people donating $1, some people donating 25, there's some people donating 200, 300. I mean, whatever you can part with. It's kind of like I said yesterday, it's kind of a win-win for everybody, right? If the movie gets made, the movie gets made. If it doesn't, you get your money back. So hey, you're not really out of anything. But today is, I knew today was going to be special, not only because of it's the New Year's Eve here, at least. But I got this in the mail today. I got Sunset Boulevard on Blu-ray today. So this is my Gordon Cole. I'm about to stick a fork in an electrical plug podcast tonight, I think. So I was like, oh boy, Gordon Cole is calling me to, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? And it's been a lovely day so far. However, there is some things we will need to be addressing soon. But yeah, I'm super happy about this new park that Frank's donating to it. So yeah, Kimmy Robertson, music track. That sounds.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I want to hear it. I might have to donate again.
So you were here for a part of yesterday's Insanity.
Yes. It was New Year's Eve for us, and I kind of came in. I can't remember if John was here or if he came in just after I came in, but I was a little bit, because I didn't really like Chad either, but I love him. He's really cool, and I was a little bit starstruck and just forgot that I was even involved in the conversation for most of it, just listening to him. He was amazing.
Yeah, it was so funny because there's been so many people like thanking him today on Twitter, just for taking because he didn't. I don't know if you know this or not, but or if you were following, he had such a hard time like coming onto the podcast, and so we could only get him on via the phone, like Amy. Yeah, and then he was like disappointed that he couldn't stay longer because my arm was getting tired. So he worked diligently for another 2 hours to download another program, on his computer and to come on. So he really wanted to come on. And then once he was on here for like a good hour and a half or something like that. It was a long time. And what makes me so happy is there's so many people contacting him today saying you have made fans for life for doing that. Cause it makes everybody happy, makes the fans happy.
Yeah. And he was articulate, and it kind of gave you a bit of an insight, because the more people that you meet, like the cast that you meet and the cast that you see interviews of elsewhere, they are just really good people, and it kind of fills you with that little bit more faith that David Lynch is a nice dude and attracts nice people around him, I think. And yeah, I've really enjoyed seeing everybody on your show. It's been good.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it's great for the fans because it allows them to have access to see how the actor really is as a person. It's great for the actor too because obviously they're building a fan base, and not saying like, oh, it's it's calculated or anything like that, but it's just everybody wins, and that's what I love. It's like everybody's happy, and Amy popped on for a minute or so yesterday just because the phone situation, and she couldn't hear anybody, and it's kind of bizarre to be like switching the phone around, that type of thing. But she still got like 60 messages at least of like love and praise for even stopping by and doing that. So and
after the ordeal she's just had, by the sounds of it, that would have been the last thing I wanted to do, would be on a live YouTube show. Right. Be the last thing. Yeah.
Right. And that's why I tweeted to her this morning. I said, don't think for a second that your dedication to the Twin Peaks community just, that it goes unnoticed. It doesn't. We all know how much you care. And, I think she was very happy to hear about that. So
I just want to know if she ever stops smiling. She's just got the best smile, and it's just always there.
Maybe she doesn't smile when she's off camera, and then when she just saves it for the camera. Yeah. So let's see. Let's see who's in the chat on New Year's Eve. We have George, Brianne, Melissa, Al. How's it going, guys? Let's see. They're yelling that people in Times Square are bananas. Mr. C is in here saying it's happening again. No, we are not doing a 24-hour stream again, I swear.
No.
Alice Lynch is here. She says, I just finished part 3. You look dead, Cameron. I'm very much alive, but I'm still very tired. But yeah, so we got just a few of you guys here. So, but it's great having you. And I'm sure a lot of people will catch up with the video at a later date when they're not probably passed out or drunk. Although if you are drunk and you have access to your credit card, there's a nice little link right here. Please.
That's a terrible tactic.
I'm saying it with a smile, so you know we're all good here. All right, guys. But like I said, if you feel like donating during this video, please do, and I will give you a shout out while we're doing this. Okay, so it's New Year's Eve. Sometimes these kind of nights bring out just the truth in you know in me, because you feel like you have to verbally speak it, or else it's just gonna weigh you down. And I don't want to go into 2018 feeling weighed down. So yesterday, I don't even know how it came up, but yesterday I had expressed, well, don't get me wrong, this channel, this campaign has been very much blessed. I mean, just so many wonderful people, so many positive people coming onto this podcast. You know, people in the chat, and you know, I feel like, I mean, I know it's silly to say, but I feel like sometimes, you know, we are just one big family. You know, I mean, like I recognize so many people in the chat, and I, you know, obviously there's just the great people that I've kind of amassed onto this podcast are just, they're wonderful people. You know, I consider them like my best friends, and I never even seen them in real life. You know, that being said, and you know, you sometimes you have to look at the big picture of things. And one thing that I expressed yesterday, and Frank, I understand, was like saying, "Oh, let's not dwell on it." And I wasn't trying to dwell on it. I merely was expressing that while there is a tremendous amount of support for me, this channel, this project, that there seems to be another side, not necessarily a side of counterattack, right? Because there's not a lot of people coming at me saying, "What are you doing? This is horrible. This is terrible. You're not David Lynch." Blah blah. There's really not that going on. Maybe a teeny little bit every once in a while, but really for the most part, not. But there does seem to be a quiet sort of other side that kind of has made a quiet pact amongst themselves to not discuss me, this channel, and especially the Queen of Hearts Indiegogo campaign. I find that very peculiar. That because there are websites, there are Facebook groups, there are Facebook pages that, yes, there have been a tremendous amount, you know, liking stuff, retweeting stuff, you know, super nice, collaborative with me, wonderful. And I want them to know that if they themselves ever had something that they were working on, you know, something, a passion project for them, that I would help them out as much as they have helped me out. Because as I said to Amanda yesterday from the Bookhouse Babes, a rising tide raises all ships. It does not help to be combative. Now, I may be a little bit combative tonight, but I'm mostly because I need to deflect and let people know what the heck is going on, because I wasn't even aware this was truly happening until tonight. I had, you know, but I should know to trust my gut. I should know to trust my gut. And that is basically tonight, Millie, it was confirmed to me that there truly is an underground movement. And I'm not a paranoid person at all. But it has been proven to me tonight, that there is a deliberate attempt by several members in the Twin Peaks community, high up in the Twin Peaks community, to silence this project, silence me, silence this channel from ever being spoken about in the Twin Peaks community. Now, I'm not sure why that is, because I don't speak ill of others. People, trash me. I don't like trash them back. I kind of just say, I don't understand like where you're coming from with this, but I will defend myself. I'm not somebody who just will passively go, yeah, okay. I mean, you can ignore a lot of things, but when people deliberately slander you, when people deliberately spread lies and gossip about you to make themselves look better, and when you find out who exactly those people are, and you realize that it's not just a simple misunderstanding from their part, that it is a personal, deliberate attack because they themselves don't like you and they like their power in the community so much that they want to oppress you down. Now, this is just absolutely absurd, in my opinion, because this is a Twin Peaks fan community. We should all just be like, awesome, the more the merrier. But there are people who, let me say this, there are people that really like being where they are in power, and they don't like this quote unquote new generation of Twin Peaks multimedia fans coming up. They don't. Which is really funny because I'm an original Twin Peaks fan from 1990. I was watching David Lynch movies back in the day, even before Twin Peaks. So I'm not really considered a newbie. I've been doing these videos for over 5 years now. It is fact. There is a deliberate attempt to not allow these videos and not allow this campaign to be seen on several Twin Peaks fan pages.
Now, and I think they're active fan pages too. They're fan pages where there's a lot of people there. And so, I mean, look, obviously I've spoken to you and just that I tried to share some stuff with your name attached to it and got knocked back on some of the social media sites, pretty much saying that we won't support Cameron or anything that he does based on a couple of things. Spoilers.
Well, hang on. We'll get into that.
Well, hang on. I get spoilers, but spoilers are everywhere. And I kind of went, I don't want to watch them, but I really did, and I did. I watched them. I'm guilty.
All right. Well, hang on a second. Before we get into the nitty-gritty details here, the funny thing about this is it's not just one page. I see people in the chat saying, "Oh, it's this group or it's this page." It may be, but it's not just that group or that page. I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages that these people run that have made the declaration that they will not promote anything. Now, I understand if they have their own podcast thing going on or whatever, then maybe they just wouldn't want a random Twin Peaks Thought of the Day video posted or something like that. But if you have an interview with, say, I don't know, Jennifer Lynch or something, they're not going to want people to see that in their group. My question is, why, if you were in the Twin Peaks community, would you want to be a part of a page or a group like that is deliberately keeping you from seeing an interview, theoretically, with Jennifer Lynch? That's insane. I'm looking at one of these people's pages right now, and it says, "We work to bring fans closer together with Twin Peaks, the work of David Lynch, and each other." And That is the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard. Okay, so let's go through one at a time why these pages and why these people, well, why these pages say, quote unquote, say they won't talk about me, and I'll tell you the truth. All right, go ahead.
Oh, the spoilers was the
Okay.
first thing.
Spoilers about what?
I don't even know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know.
so they're the biggest bunch of hypocrites I've ever heard because they themselves talk spoilers left, right, and center. They may not publish it on the page, but I do know that they are part of Facebook message, private messages, where they just spoil themselves silly all the time. Next.
Okay. James, something about James being inappropriate, and I haven't watched a video with James, or if I have, I haven't. He's not someone.
Okay, well, here's the deal here. I'm going to bring this into context. So I don't have any evidence of this, but James used to be on this podcast, for a while, a long time actually, and he was known to be a troublemaker in the Twin Peaks community because he would just be online all day long doing stuff, and I wouldn't even know about any of this until 5 days later. I'd get home, get on the computer, whatever like that, and I'd find out all hell broke loose, and and James had caused all these problems, and I had to like fix all this stuff, a lot of it. It wasn't all the time, but it happened quite a bit. He would like delete everybody off all the admins off a Twin Peaks page, and leave me there. So everyone thought that I had deleted everybody, and it was like this big mess, whatever. But apparently he's bothered quite a few admins on other pages, right? So because and I didn't know this was going on, because why would he tell me everything like that? He's not going to tell me, oh, Cameron, by the way, I, was bad mouthing these people the other day. I mean, I don't hear about any of that stuff. Well, because he was on my podcast for so long, they just naturally assumed that I was in with him on this stuff when I wasn't even aware of all this stuff. Now, eventually it boiled over to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I distanced myself from him, and he went and started his own YouTube show. Now, of course, he spent the first like 2 months of his YouTube show like bashing me and my show. But now, as I've said before, he's gotten a nice group of people on there. And it looks, again, I'm not affiliated with him personally in terms of like what he does online. I don't even talk to him anymore. I don't badmouth him, but we don't communicate with each other anymore online. But I still watch his show, mostly because some of it's really funny, and sometimes I still want to make sure they're not bashing me. Who knows what they're going to be saying, but no, I kid. But anyway, I had heard over the summer that there was a particular group on Facebook that James had been bothering one of the admins about. And so I was like, well, why am I being blamed for that? He hasn't been on this podcast in months. Well, he used to be on your podcast. And, like, what does that have to do with me? Anyway, so I straightened it out with the admin. But that admin may not be there anymore, because I tried to look back over my Facebook messages to find out who that was again, because I can't remember. And that message isn't there anymore. So maybe that person deleted their account. I have no idea. However, the person who is in charge of that group, or one of the main people in charge of that group, is somebody who, I don't know if he still is or not, but was a good friend of James. So for him to blame me for stuff that James did is insane, because he was closer to James on a regular day-to-day basis than I ever was. right? And this person in particular is so irritated at me because he came on the podcast a couple times, and then I didn't really invite him back on. Because the whole point was to always have like rotating guests, and so I didn't want to just be bogged down with the same people every time. So I was like, okay, we'll have him on another time, whatever. But it just never. And then when I find out that he would like whisper in James's ear, like, oh, I don't like Cameron. Cameron doesn't let you talk very much on the videos. I'm like, well, James a lot of times was like eating breakfast when I was making the videos. So yeah, I had to do a lot of the talking. Otherwise we'd hear him like chewing on bagels, So anyway, but yeah, so while I was at work, this guy would be whispering in James's ear online, one of many that would be like, oh, you need to start your own show. You need to do this. You need to do that. And so you could tell I'm like James would have an attitude with me about something. I'd be like, oh, you've been talking to this person again. Anyway, so what I find so funny is this person who says to you that, well, James did this and this and this. I wonder if his admins would be aware that he is better friends with James on a regular basis than I ever was. Isn't that?
I didn't even know who James was, so yeah.
No, but that's what I'm getting at. And I know this is going to get back to him. So I want him to know that I am aware of what he's saying. And I know that he is scared to death. I'm going to say his name on YouTube right now. So let's make him sit on the edge of his chair. Okay, next.
And I think last but not least was just trashing. I think it was The Secret History, wasn't it?
Yes, but there was another point to it.
To cancel your pre-order it was a quote, I think, quoting that you were perhaps saying 2 weeks before the release to cancel pre-orders, but I'm guessing that was more of a comment towards Amazon and how slow they are.
No, I just got so let me get this straight. Because I disliked Mark Frost's book, right? And they're claiming that I spoiled it 2 weeks prior to the release, right? And told people to cancel their pre-orders. Okay, right. So let's go back in time here, everybody. Like the Scooby-Doo cartoons. We did a huge 3-hour video with tons of people talking about Mark Frost's book. I had people there that loved the book. This is The Secret History of Twin Peaks, by the way.
Yeah.
I had people there who loved the book. I had people there who kind of liked the book, was still on the fence. Then there were people like me who at the time really didn't like it at all. I was expecting a lot from it, and I didn't even think it came close to even, hitting like a tenth of what I wanted that book to be like. So I was very upset and very disappointed. So, and I wrote this like little review, and I read it on the video, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, cool," because it was great just to have everyone's different points of views, right? But then I got a lot of messages from people saying, "Hey, you know what? Obviously we love the whole video. You should take your review that you did and just kind of do a cut paste and do a separate video where it's just your 2-minute review," right? So I did that, and James at the time, he was riding the high that this was the first new Twin Peaks thing we'd got in a while. So basically, everybody was just sucking the teat of Mark Frost at this moment, basically. And I was the only one, as far as I was aware of, online that said I thought it was not very good. So James took that individual video and posted it online and basically mocked me for my thoughts about the book. It was ridiculous and it was absurd. Anyway, that apparently ticked off these people too, right? And this guy in particular. which is ridiculous. It's an opinion. It's a review of something. There's lots of people who love the new Star Wars movie. There's lots of people who hate the new Star Wars movie. And guess what? I could care less if you loved it or hated it. I could care less if you loved and hated Twin Peaks season 3. I could care less. What's important to me is the dialogue, the discussion. I'm not here to change your mind if you loved it or hated it. I just want to talk about the material. You know, now what happened with this Secret History of Twin Peaks was Amazon sent it to me. So no, complete and utter BS lie that I got it early. You think I am like, the publisher? I got the galleys and I'm gonna ruin the whole book for everybody? Ridiculous. So the thing is that Amazon sent it to me destroyed. It was bent, it was warped. But instead of sending it back and then getting another book, I took my warped copy and I read it, and I was so disappointed with the book that I knew I had to return it. I was going to return it anyway. But when it came time to returning it, it gives you the option. Do you want us to send you another copy or do you want a refund? And I was like, I didn't like this book at all. I'm never going to open this book again. So refund. So I know people in the community got ticked off that I read the book and then got my money back, which is ridiculous. Now, that being said, anybody who watches this podcast for any length of time knows that I rebought the book after season 3, because now I felt, even though I'm still not the biggest fan of it, I felt that season 3 gave us a little bit more context for me to go off and explore that material. Because when it was just the Secret History of Twin Peaks, I was dissatisfied. But now that I have season 3, now that I have the final dossier, well, now the Secret History isn't just the only new Twin Peaks material I have. I have all this other material. So now instead of Secret History being the only thing, it's one of a piece, right? Now, what's really funny is that all the people who really love the Secret History of Twin Peaks, the people who worship the details of the Secret History of Twin Peaks, hate the final dossier. A lot of them. What did I think of the final dossier? I think I did a chapter by chapter review on this channel. I think overwhelmingly it was pretty darn positive. How many times did I tell you, get this? If you weren't a fan of the Secret History of Twin Peaks, this is the book to own. If you want to own both, great. But if you had to choose one and you're a huge diehard, Twin Peaks into the characters and all that, Final Dossier is the book for you. If you're into the mythology,
without question. Yeah.
Without question. If you're into the mythology of things, I would recommend the Secret History of Twin Peaks. But get them both. But I would say if you had to choose one, I would just go with the final dossier myself, just because it's more in line with what season 1 and 2 more or less was, because it dealt with those characters, right? So no, I did not spoil the Secret History of Twin Peaks. In fact, I got my book, I don't know, like a week after it even came out. There were people on forums and message boards spoiling that book long before I even read a dang paragraph of it. So why don't you go after them instead of coming after me, right? This Queen of Hearts Indiegogo campaign, honestly, in all honesty, should have been fully funded like 3 weeks ago. But there is a huge movement, for whatever reason, not the people on this channel, not the people who support this channel, not the people who I collaborate with, but there is another movement out there, a silent movement that doesn't want this project to succeed, does not want me to succeed, that hates and detests every time I get an interview with somebody that, oh my goodness, a Twin Peaks actor, a Twin Peaks crew member is on this podcast and looking like they're having fun. Oh my God, that's so upsetting to everybody, isn't it? Well, it is upsetting to a lot of people in the Twin Peaks community. and I find that utterly laughable. Uh, so yeah, listen, I'm I rarely pull this card. This is not like me, especially if you follow this channel for years. See this link right here? This is important, guys. Forget about just wanting to see a cool Twin Peaks movie. This is important. This getting this film funded is the ultimate middle finger to all of those people. It's the ultimate FU to all of those people who want this project, who want me, who want this channel, and they just want me to go away so that they can sit on their little Twin Peaks white horse and act like they're the gods of the Black Lodge. That's absurd. Millie, you were saying, no, I didn't see this, but you were saying there were a few people yesterday in the chat saying that this film project of mine was a part of an ego trip of me.
Yeah, that was popping up in the because I watched you as I was watching pretty much the whole time as soon as I woke up, and before I came in, I was watching on YouTube, and you had mentioned that there was a bit of negativity, and hence why I asked you about it later on when I came back in. But yeah, someone had commented that there is, circulating rumours that this is an ego trip for you, and I've spoken to you about this. I know you don't profit from this, and like I said, it could be a long time between drinks for us Twin Peaks fans in seeing anything other than fan films. So I don't understand why people don't support it. I don't understand. That's all.
Well, I've been doing this channel for years. So what, after 5 years or so, I'm going to all of a sudden come up with an ego trip about wanting to do a Twin Peaks movie?
Yeah, and it's not riding on the back of season 3. You've been quite out there Twin Peaks fan, and such a knowledgeable one. The reason I started watching your podcast, and I've been very, my Twin Peaks world has always had a fairly tightly shut door because it is kind of a personal thing, and not many people around you love it. And then all of a sudden you realise that, you mentioned before, we are like a bit of a family, and all of these family members start popping up, and the community's lovely, but there is a little bit of an underlying, I don't know, do you call it tall poppy syndrome there? We call it tall poppy syndrome here in Australia.
I have no idea what that means. Is that
cutting down the poppies that are growing too tall? It's just a cultural thing of not wanting to see people succeed, and I think it's really depressing because I don't think that.
Well, you do know the people that don't want you to succeed are people who are actively using Twin Peaks to further their humdrum life because they have nothing else going on. I don't come on YouTube to talk Twin Peaks because I have nothing else going on in my life. I do this as a break from everything else going on in my life.
And just the time attached to the hours. I mean, I'm not just talking about the almost 24-hour shift you just did before, just the time of it. I mean, I think you've got a family and I've got a family, and when people trash on what you do, it takes me about 6 hours to make a doll. And if someone goes, oh, yeah, that doesn't look like who you want it to look like, that's heartbreaking. It really is. I think it's it's a shame, and I just, I would hope that people would support it because, I can see the passion behind it. I feel sad for you that there seems to have hit this, bit of a roadblock, and that's when I started thinking, I wonder if it is this, the little underlying channel of people being negative and saying that you're on an ego trip and saying that you're responsible for this, that, and the other. You're a guy who does a podcast, and far out, that interview with Jennifer Lynch, I think everyone should have to pay $100 just to watch that interview. It was just the best interview I've ever seen. Ever.
I think let's take me out of it. Just take me out of it. I think it's the best interview she's ever given. It was amazing. It's certainly the most in-depth interview she's ever given.
Yeah. If I didn't love her before, I absolutely was in love with her after that. She was great. And it was about you too. Your chemistry together was really good, I thought.
I know, we were like a brother and sister, weren't we? No,
I didn't know what you were talking about half the time, but I still enjoyed it.
But you know what? I think that's true of every, celebrity Twin Peaks, actor, or whoever I've had on this show. I think they all seem so relaxed, and
Yeah.
they just really get into it, and they don't feel like they're being grilled or interviewed. It's just kind of a discussion between everybody, and everybody has a great time, and everybody wins. And it's funny. It's like if somebody says to me, "Oh, uh, okay, Annie, for example, from the How's Annie channel." I saw some of her videos. I thought she was really good. I thought she was very clever, very funny, very knowledgeable. So I reached out to her and I said, you should come on, because I don't want someone to just. I know how hard it is to start a YouTube channel, you know, and she had a few views, and I think one of her videos did do very well, but I wasn't aware of it. I just saw that she had done just a couple videos and things like that, just starting out. And I said, you should come on. This would be great. Give me someone new to talk with. We can, get you some more subs and that type of thing. See, I don't see anybody ever wanting to do that for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said yesterday, if another page, if another podcast, if another something had something going on, and I was like, oh, I see what you're doing. This is really cool. Right. I would totally talk about it, bring it up. It's because it's part of the discussion. Right. I'd promote it. I would do whatever I needed to do. You can see who's doing that for me and who's not doing it for me. And then you have to question, why aren't they doing it for me, or for myself? Are they not doing it because that's not who they are? Then great, I understand that. They keep that line. Or are they not doing it because they have a personal vendetta or grudge against me? I know the truth. I know what's going on. And tonight, it was confirmed to me exactly what was going on, something that I had been assuming for so long. But yeah, it's good to know that this project is not moving the way it should because of their efforts. The thing is now is that we have a week left, and we are aware now, all of us, all you, me, all of us are now aware of these efforts. I don't need to tell you who these people are. They just need to know that I know who they are. And believe me, I wish I could just spill the beans and tell you everybody, but you can pretty much figure it out, I'm sure.
It doesn't really matter who the person is. It's the act of it. It's just not what it should be, and it's not what it needs to be.
No.
If I've got
And
a spare minute, I'll go on Instagram and I will like and comment on every single hand-drawn Twin Peaks related picture, just because that 17-year-old sitting in their room somewhere who's drawn a cherry pie really badly would get a real kick out of somebody liking their crappy cherry pie. So it doesn't take much just to show your support, and it's a kindness, I think, and there shouldn't be nastiness attached to it.
Exactly. And so, I'm not telling people to be nasty to them, because I'm not even telling people who they are. That being said, we need to just be aware that there is a movement out there trying to crush this. So the ultimate way of going nah, 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 and giant middle finger to them basically is to make sure this project succeeds, and to make sure this channel succeeds, and to make sure that your support for myself and this channel continues stronger than ever, because that takes away their power. And Al in the chat saying right now, basically they're doing this because it might expose the inferiority of their content to their audience. And I'm not trying to take away their audience. If they have cultivated a thing, fantastic. But they shouldn't be going out of their way, actively going out of their way to try to block content of mine just because they hate me for whatever reason. Over the summer, there was a group on Facebook called the Twin Peaks 2017 group who came up with a list of rules to go by to post on their page. One of the rules was you must not speak about Cameron or Obnoxious and Anonymous. I was like, okay, I want to make it very clear. I was never a part of this group because I never even heard about it. Apparently they have thousands of members, but I hadn't
Yeah,
heard.
I'm a member, and they're a really great group of people.
Yeah,
They're
but
so
those are but
supportive
those
and
but,
art.
right. But what I'm saying though is I'm not taking away from the people who
No.
join the group, because there's lots of random groups and pages people join all the time. But I was running this video podcast. I already belonged to a number of other Twin Peaks pages. I couldn't add the 30,000 other Twin Peaks pages that arrived when season 3 came out. And there were a lot of them that came out. So I just decided to not, like any of them basically, but I didn't even hear about this group until somebody contacted me and said, you wouldn't believe this. They came up with this list of rules and you are on that list of we cannot talk about you. Let's not talk about other podcasts. No, just you. So I reached out and I made a post about it and I said, what the heck is going on? Well, a number of people contacted them and caused a big ruckus. And within an hour, they removed that rule from their bylines. One of their admins then contacted me and told me what their reasons were. And their reasons were, again, spoilers. And I clarified that. Then they said, well, you had James on your podcast. And I said, okay, that had nothing to do with me, and he's no longer on the podcast. And what? So no, I didn't remove him because of that. He had already been off for a long time. So it seemed like it was all cleared up then, right? Great. But now you've heard other things from other people saying that other pages, other groups or whatever, have the same complaints. And I'm like, well, I thought all this crap got fixed up. And again, I love talking Twin Peaks. I love talking the characters in the show and all that stuff. It's multitude of guests and multiple of guests, as you can see from yesterday. But sometimes you need to pull that curtain back and show the people who are, watchers of this podcast or videos or whatever, what the fandom community truly is like behind closed doors. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of drama. I don't like drama. I don't seek out drama. Drama finds me for whatever reason. It just does. And because I either don't take a side or I take a firm side, and I'm pretty, I can be opinionated. I can be decisive, because it wouldn't help to be a host on these podcasts and just be like, I don't know. I think I kind of liked it. I don't know. I mean, you kind of have to be, well, did I like it or did I not like it? And discuss those reasons. You can change your mind, but it's good to, stand your ground. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going. Oh yeah. The fandom community, all fandom communities are like this. The problem is that Twin Peaks is kind of a niche community, right? And there's been people that feel like they're entitled to be at the top of the mountain. I don't feel entitled to be on top of the mountain. I just want to, have my little branch and chill and just enjoy the view, right? I don't need other birds trying to knock me out of the branch just because they don't like my view. And that's what they try to do. They go, oh, he looks like he's having fun over there with his guests. How
dare you?
Yeah, we gotta stop that. And then I have, as far as I'm aware of, I'm like, one of the few Twin Peaks videos out there that has women on it. I don't know if you've noticed that, but there's a tremendous amount of videos out there where it's just two guys just looking into each other's eyes, talking about Twin Peaks, and I And while that's fine, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that I love all points of view, and I don't care if you're male or female, white, black, Asian, whatever, Hispanic. I don't care who you are. I want to know what you think about this show. I want to know what you think about David Lynch. I want to know what you think about Mark Frost. And we need to talk about this show. But occasionally, I need to draw a line in the sand and say, enough of the BS.
Yeah.
You got your little corner. That's great. I'm not intruding on yours. But if somebody, I don't know, shares a video like, oh, John was on yesterday's podcast. Hey, I think your 40,000 members or 100,000 members or whoever, how many you have?
Who wouldn't want to watch that?
Who wouldn't want to see that? You know what, though? Yeah. Their effing loss. Now, yeah. I say that to admins. I don't say that to their audience, because their audience isn't given a choice of, I like this or I don't like this. They're not even given the choice because the admins refuse to give them that choice. They are protecting them from obnoxious and anonymous, from corroding their soul, and might convince them to question authority in the group. Oh my goodness.
It's just a shame. You'd have to say that a lot of the Twin Peaks community and certainly the fans over the years, you'd have to say a majority of them are quite creative people. And I know we keep going back to Lynch and saying, oh, we want more, but we need to celebrate the people that are making things right here, right now, that may be inspired by Lynch or prepared to take the story further, because it's going to be a while, I think, if at all.
And it is what it is. I don't care if it comes back next week or it comes back in 5 years or whatever. I was talking about this show long before there was ever an announcement of anything happening. So when all these podcasts and all these channels and all these Facebook pages started sprouting up when season 3 began, I was like, I don't know why everybody's getting involved with these people, because to each their own, obviously. But I was thinking to myself going, they're going to be here and then they're going to leave as soon as season 3 closes. And look what happens. Everybody's channels that they watched, none of them talk Twin Peaks anymore. None of them. Right? There's a lot of Facebook pages that don't post any things anymore. They're dead pages now. I was talking about Twin Peaks on YouTube long before season 3, long before a Blu-ray announcement, because I just love talking about the show. That's it.
It was funny yesterday, Cameron. I kept coming back in between dinner, and so it would be like an hour, and I'd check back in to see if you were still talking. Every single time I tuned in, you were still talking about Twin Peaks. Every single time. So you must have, I don't think you swayed from the subject much at all.
Well, if you watch the last hour of part 3's podcast, we pretty much swayed. I don't think we were even on this plane of existence anymore last night at that point. But
I'll have to go and watch that later. And how cute it was when John said, you guys do realise this is not real, because I think it is kind of real for all of us, isn't it?
Well, I didn't think well, he was joking.
He was joking.
But at the same time, though, well, the question I asked is what actors usually would figure out in their biography that they create. So I didn't think what I was asking was too outlandish, but anyway, he was joking. Anyway, he also jokingly but very kindly said, "Hey, everybody, give Cameron all of your money." I thought that was very sweet.
Yeah. He was so good.
He was super, super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, all fandom communities are like this. It's just a shame that instead of like, yeah, we don't really like that channel, we don't really like that page, they're actively campaigning to try to shut me up, shut the project up, and pretend I don't exist, which is really funny, because the people who support this channel, they very vocally support this channel.
Yeah.
I don't see, to be honest, and I'm not trying to knock them, I'm just speaking honestly, I don't see anybody on social media praising their site, praising their pages. They just use that outlet to either post or comment, and they move along their day. Yeah. So they've just created another Twin Peaks page for people to post and comment. We've created a family here. And that is the difference. Okay. That being said, it's 11:07. Got just a short while to go till midnight. Probably will not stay until New Year's just because I'm still a little from yesterday.
Delirious.
Understandably. Yeah, people were teasing last night. They're just like get, order a pizza, drink an energy drink. You can do it. And I was thinking, listen, if you get this campaign up to 50%, I'll order the pizza and down the energy drink. So, but I think everybody was starting to, even the audience was like, whoa. So it was definitely time to go.
No, you did an amazing job. It was great.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and thank you for stopping by, and thank you for staying with us. There were so many people, Millie, that were here from 6 a.m. till I got off at midnight.
That's crazy.
Hopefully they did something other than just sit there and watch us. Hopefully they were like cleaning their house or something while we were on. But but they were commenting too, like throughout the whole day. So obviously they were typing and or whatever. So
yeah, well, I was staying with you for most of the day yesterday. I kept coming back and watching, and then while I was doing the dishes, just putting you on my little shelf. So yeah, I was there for most of it. Sorry, I was a bit starstruck. I didn't say much yesterday, but I was like, oh.
That's all right. We had somebody later in the night that showed up a little tipsy and started asking people strange questions where I couldn't even understand what they were asking. So luckily that got sorted out pretty quick. All right, we do have a donation here. Faith. Oh no, sorry, not Faith. Sorry, my eyes. I apologize. Fala. $100.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. So
well done.
I'm gonna check the total. Here. You know what though? It's really funny. I got a few donations this morning up till around 2:30 in the afternoon, and then we didn't get any until Fala here. So a whole day went by. We only have 7 days left, guys. Only 7 days left, and a whole day went by without a single donation. So we gotta almost have this happen around the clock. I can't sit here on video for 7 days telling you guys donate. You have to kind of do it yourselves too. You're gonna have to help me out here. So right now we are at 44%. I've raised of 25,000, 216 backers. It is 10,924. I am $76 away. $76 away from.
Is that PayPal included?
I'll have to check that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take the PayPal and then put it in. Because obviously Indiegogo takes a percentage out. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, so right now on the Indiegogo page, we are $76 away from hitting 11,000. That is amazing. That is great. When we hit 12,500, we will be at 50%. And I'm hoping the back 50% will be easier to raise than the first 50%. Because this campaign, this has been like climbing Mount Everest. It's crazy because I had so many people before I launched it saying, "Oh, I'll contribute this, I'll donate this, I'll do this," and then those people never showed up. So it's just been like clawing up the mountain. And I remember saying before, like, this thing's either going to really succeed or it's going to completely fail. I don't think we're going to be clawing to the finish line. Well, as of this moment, it looks like we're crawling, and I want to make sure we get enough going, enough momentum going that we can pick ourselves up, brush ourselves off, and run to that finish line. And in fact, though, if we do get to that finish line, I know it seems silly to say when we're only at 44%, but if we do get to that finish line, keep donating, because Indiegogo takes that percentage out. And obviously the more that is donated, I mean, sometimes you'll go on there and you'll see like, somebody asked for 30,000 and they raised 75,000, so it's like you can go way over the 100% total. That being said, I have some really great news, and this is a great way to kind of conclude tonight's video. This morning, I got contacted by Joey, who, by the way, earlier today, he was working on a little Queen of Hearts promo video that he decided to make himself, and he took one look at it and said, "I think I better fix it up and work on it more and stuff like that." And so when he's going to post it on his channel. He's doing it primarily, well, for support of this project. So whatever he does with the video, that's like his thing. That's his little baby. But it's not like my input, like, oh, put this in. But it's just Joey trying to help promote the page, which I thank him so much. Well, no, because he had like a bunch of backwards talk and like speeded up talk and things like that. And I was like, that's super cool, but I don't think that's going to be in the movie. So let's not let's not scare people like that. But anyway, I kid. But he did contact me this morning and said, you need to check Indiegogo right now. And I was thinking, why? So I get on there and I go to their films page. And because we had so much movement on the campaign yesterday, we're at the top of the list of their featured film section.
That's great.
The Queen of Hearts, the Twin Peaks, fan film that I want to make is at the top of the film section. That's unbelievable. Amazing. And I couldn't have done it without, obviously, all of you guys. Incredible. So thank you so much. Let's see here. Let's see here. People are saying Happy New Year from Colorado. Thank you, Alan, and thank you so much for your donation as well. Angela says, I actually fall asleep to your videos quite often too. It's the soothing nature of your voice and a topic I love hearing about. Oh yes, except when I'm like screaming into the microphone. Twin Peaks Outside the City Limits says, what year is this? Happy New Year. That's another reason why I decided to do this, kind of at New Year's Eve. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You wouldn't believe the amount of love you have in here. I gotta just tell you. So let me read some of these comments and make you happy, Millie. Let's see here. I'm scrolling. See, George says, though, it's fun to discuss and disagree, respectively, on all things of Twin Peaks. I agree. And also...
all things in life, I think.
Yeah, that too. And from what I understand, George in the chat here is planning on starting his own, I don't know, Twin Peaks / David Lynch type of YouTube channel at some point. Hope I am allowed to say that. I don't know when he's going to start it, but apparently he's testing the waters. So be on the lookout for that.
Do we know can he tell us what it's going to be called or no?
I have no idea. Maybe he'll tell me in the chat, but just want to give people a heads up. And see, Melly, that's how you do it in the fan community. You let other people know that other people are doing good things too. You don't try to keep people down. Okay. Enough of my babbling there about that. Melissa says, oh, so a lifelong dream is considered an ego trip? What a load of BS. I agree, Melissa. Okay, here we go. Melissa says, Molly, your dolls are amazing. I love Philip Jeffries. George says, Millie, your work is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Jason says, I find people going for their dreams inspiring. Good for you, Cameron and Millie. SMH, oh, here we go. You're going to love this. He says, or he or she, I don't know, says, Millie, your work is soon to be a birthday gift for me.
Oh.
I don't know if someone's buying something for him or whether he's buying something for himself. George says, I want a red room dollhouse with all of Millie's dolls.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Angela says, I love that. Millie, random support is no doubt the best. Yep. And George says, we all like Twin Peaks. Can't we just support each other?
Yeah, exactly. Here.
I agree. Thank you, George. All right, let's see what we got here. Twin Peaks Outside the City Limits is all the best from Canada, Cameron and Millie. Thank you, David. That's I guess his name's David. So thank you, David.
I'm jealous. Canada looks beautiful. It's
I've been
really
there.
nice.
I've been there once. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Um, I was in Toronto, and I drove down and saw Niagara Falls from the Canadian side. And the great thing about it is the road to get to Niagara Falls on the Canadian side is the Highway 420. So it makes me think that like there's just pot users all over the place. But the craziest thing, I'll tell you the craziest thing on the Canada side of Niagara Falls. I don't know if it's still there. This is back in 1999 when I was there. You would see Niagara Falls. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. And then you would turn around and there was the serial killer wax museum.
Oh, wow.
I kid you not. I'm like, how is that a tourist attraction? But all right.
It's on the 420.
There you go. Angela says, "Oh, Cameron, your voice is never that bad. Although I've gotten serious giggles that keep me from sleeping too." Ah ha ha. George says, "Oh, his channel is going to be called the Lynch / Twin Peaks podcast." Oh, actually, no. Sorry, my bad. He says, "Yes, it's the Lynch Twin Peaks podcast. The channel will be called All Things Lynchian."
Nice.
So there you go.
I'll remember it.
I don't know if people can already subscribe or not, but he says he's got an up and working channel trailer right now. So let's go check out after we finish this video. Check out All Things Lynchian. This is George's new YouTube channel.
See you soon, George.
What's Jason says, Obnoxious Anonymous is my favorite YouTube channel, and Millie is my favorite Instagram account.
Ah, thank you. That's pretty cool.
Angela says, yeah, fandom can sometimes be super cannibalistic. It's sad. Melissa says, I need to go visit the serial killer wax museum.
Yeah.
I wish I have like just a bunch of crap all over the floor, but maybe on a future video I'll find it. I still have the brochure from the place. I didn't go into it, but I walked by and I grabbed the brochure because I was like, that is insane. So George is scrambling right now. He says, you can subscribe, but the channel trailer is not up yet. It will be up in a few hours. Well, you better get it up there soon,
That's
George.
okay.
Well, he better get it up
patient
because,
people.
well, you can be patient, but you know, there's a lot of people watching this video is going to go right over to his channel to watch it and it won't be there. So hurry up, George. Let's see. Angela says maybe they should add a Bob statue to the serial killer museum. You know what's funny is Bob is only a serial killer because, well, as far as we know, he's only killed Teresa and Laura. Although Mike does say when we were killing together, right? So when was Mike and Bob killing together? Like obviously prior to him possessing Leland in the 40s.
How many people do you have to kill to be a serial killer?
Well, it's not even that. It's the style of killing. You know, like, you know, there's mass murderer. There's different ways to, because it's one and one. But I want to know what Mike, when we were killing together.
Yeah.
It's like, see, why don't we get a prequel series about Mike and Bob killing together prior to Leland's possession? Wouldn't that be cool? Kind of like another version of like a serial killer version of Sherlock or something. Oh my goodness.
There's just so many open-ended parts of the story, aren't there? That, I mean, look, yeah. I know that this is one film, but you could do so many.
True. Oh yeah, Melissa, thank you. You know, it's late here, Melissa. Please forgive me. She said, didn't Bob kill Maddie too? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, then you should have said something, Millie. Don't leave me hanging like that.
I said, how many people do you need to be a serial killer?
Don't let me look like a fool on my own video. Come on. I did that.
Well, you're normally the one doing the correcting, Cameron.
Yeah, I did. I acted the fool last night at midnight. So Al says, good luck with Queen of Hearts, Cameron. And Millie, Your content has always made great entertainment. Thanks for outing me, Cam Fala. Thank you so much for your wonderful, wonderful donation.
Thanks.
Angela says, we don't know how many bodies Leland stashed. Oh, we know exactly how many he killed because when he does his confession, he doesn't say, Bob had me kill hundreds of people. He
And
says,
Maddie and Kelly and no.
yeah, he says, they made me kill that girl, Teresa.
Yeah.
George says, yes, Mike and Bob would be the ultimate odd couple sitcom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ba-dum, 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 ba-bum, bum. I just want to see Mike and Bob skipping down the street like Laverne and Shirley. Shamil Shamazel. SBF says, well, Bob also killed Wyndham. Did he really kill him, or did he just send his soul right through his head?
But do we even know if he's dead, really?
You know what, though? You know what? Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. Bob took Earl's soul, right? So yeah, he's dead. But Earl is inside Bob. Bob is inside the doppelganger. So Earl is inside the doppelganger. And how do we know that? Without saying anything, they already told us. There's the bonsai tree in the New York. The doppelganger's running around with Wyndham Earl's briefcase, that damn big, suitcase thing. Also, in the final dossier, Leo Johnson is shot.
Yeah.
So obviously, the Earl part of the doppelganger went back to the cabin to retrieve Earl's stuff and shot Leo. So yes, Earl may not be alive, but Earl lives, much like Laura Palmer. Okay. Let's see here. George says, which Lynch Angelo music should I use in my channel? You want my honest opinion? None, because YouTube will get you on copyright. I learned that the hard way with other YouTube channels, because before Google took over, you could put music, you could do lots of stuff on your videos. When Google took over, copyright came in, YouTube started slamming the brakes on that stuff. That is why this channel primarily is a talking heads channel with like nothing that could be looked at as copyright, because it was a shame to lose a lot of material that I had done years ago. So
I've got a bit of a tip. I actually, the slowed down music that Lynch is using at the moment, if you go through your library, just slow down songs, give it a test. When it sounds good, use that. Sounds great.
All right. SBF says, what I don't get is this idea of Bob being born from the bomb, but also somehow having some past history with Mike killing. I'm thinking we'll never have that connected, though. Well, I guess if you think about that, Bob wasn't necessarily born. It just that atom bomb didn't create the Black Lodge. It created the rift between two worlds, right? So the mother spitting out Bob, maybe it was more convenient, instead of having an entire world invade our world, it was better to have one thing invade our world and just puke out her universe that she came from.
But all of those eggs, and I know a frog moth came out of one of them, but there was heaps of eggs in that. I don't know, what are we calling it? Space vomit? I don't know, but there was lots of eggs in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but Bob was already fully grown too in that bubble.
Yeah, he was separate. Yeah, he was.
Thank God we didn't. Thank God we didn't see a baby wearing a denim jacket in a bubble.
Long hair.
he's like, catch you with my death bag. Oh boy. SMH says, okay, you just convinced me Wyndham's soul is inside Bob and Mr. C. That's right. Melissa says Bob was quote unquote born into this world through the rift. Exactly. So anyway, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up in a few minutes here. It's about a half hour until New Year's. Twin Peaks Outside the City Limits, says Cameron, sharing your info on my page and Twitter for the last week drive to the finish. It was a valiant effort by all yesterday. Thank you. I'm amazed.
That's the spirit.
I'm amazed that I have a voice today, but I do.
Yeah. Well done.
You know what though? I think I have to thank John, because John talked so much yesterday that I was able to rest my voice.
I was no help whatsoever. Sorry.
It's all right. You were great. You were showing off your dolls, and you are a master, talented individual. And you know, you reached out to me. I just want to reiterate this. You reached out to me, and you gave me this wonderful. Let me get her. You gave me this wonderful Annie Blackburn doll, which I take very good care of. You know, I even trim her hair when it gets too long. But she is adorable, and I love her, and I thank you so much for you know, sending this to me.
You're really welcome.
And but when I saw the kind of stuff you were making, I immediately started sharing your stuff to about 80,000 people online. And then I immediately started talking to you about getting you on this podcast to broadcast you, who you were, so people would know who you were, put a face behind the name, and you know, see the kind of work you were doing. Now, a lot of people had seen your work online, but YouTube sometimes has a different audience than Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And when I see talented, just wonderful individuals like you, that is why I want to showcase you guys. While I may be the host of these videos, and I have done videos by myself, I don't think these videos are as amazing as when I have amazing people like you guys that, you know, show up on these videos and help complement, you know, these videos even more. I couldn't do this kind of stuff without you. And this doll that you made me is the thing that convinced me, the final thing that convinced me to try to make this film. So I want to thank you for that. It truly was an inspiration. I take good care of her, and I wish you the best in 2018. I hope it's a fantastic, successful year for you.
It's going well so far.
Stop bragging.
Yeah, we nearly lost our eyebrows last night because we decided to make our own fireworks. So anyway, but I'm here.
Yeah, well, I'm amazed I'm here after yesterday.
Yeah, I am too.
But I am. But yeah, I want to thank all of you for being so supportive this year. The channel grew so much this year. I don't even think it grew because of my efforts, even though people, you know, give me wonderful praise and stuff. I've always been here doing these videos. It's just that Twin Peaks came back this year, and so people were interested in finding out more about Twin Peaks and discovered my channel. Because before I used to do these videos, the videos would get maybe 85 views, maybe 175 views if James like shared it on a forum or something like that. But usually the views were under 200 views. And now these videos go up to like 20,000.
It's amazing.
It's insane. So I just want to reiterate that I only need about 150 of you to throw in $100 out of the 20,000 that watch these videos. I only need 150 of you to throw in $100, and we will have this movie fully funded and on its way to being made. Again, here's the link. I appreciate all those who donate during the video. Don't forget that you can still donate even after the video is posted. You know, you don't wait for me to have to come on YouTube and be like, please, you know, throw some money towards this campaign. We need to get it made. I need you guys to keep going while the video, you know, while we're in between videos. Meanwhile, right? I need you guys to keep going. The other thing is, I want you to remember what I said to you tonight about how fickle the fandom community can be. Not all of them. Obviously, you've met so many people on this channel, so many people on Twitter and Facebook that are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. But there is a segment of this population that is trying to silence me, silence the channel. Remember all the trouble I had with YouTube over the summer? Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want this movie made. this movie made would be the bane of their existence. So let's make their existence hell. Here's the link. Let's get this movie made. Let's do it. We're gonna, you're gonna see the whole entire making of this movie throughout the whole first half of 2018. Then you're gonna be there with me while I'm making the film, and then you're gonna see the film. So if that's important to you, that's great. Let's make this happen because it's important to me. And
That would be amazing.
And if you believe in me and you believe in this channel and you really want to support this channel and you really want to support me, then let's stick it to the people who don't like us and let's make this film. Let's do it. 2018 is our year, Millie. We're going to do it.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like these videos and subscribe. Although I have a feeling, Millie, this one's going to get a few more thumbs down than usual, but that's okay. I just want you to know that I know you're out there, and I'll be watching you too. So in the meantime, you guys take it easy. Thank you again. Thank you again for all your love and support during 2017. I couldn't do it without you. I really appreciate everything you've done for me, for all of us, for this campaign. Let's keep it going. We got a week left. All right, guys, take care. Happy New Year. Talk to you soon.
See ya. Bye. Bye.